All right. Welcome to my talk, The Devil's Bargain, Targeted Ransomware and Its Costs. This was initially put together for a more businessy audience, so I apologize if the first few slides are a little heavy on like charts and graphs and shit. But I've also added a section on the WannaCry ransomware because it's just so topical to anything on ransomware. A little bit about myself. I was a research scientist with Cylance, and previous to that with malware analyst with Cylance. Currently between jobs. I was hit by those layoffs, unfortunately. This is the structure of the talk. I'm going to start with some statistics and cover a few emerging trends in ransomware, then do a section on WannaCrypt ransomware, and then there's a case study of Samsa ransomware, which is a very good example of targeted ransomware, where it's like where they're rather than distributing ransomware through like a massive phishing campaign, they're actually targeting vulnerable JBoss servers and moving laterally in the network and shooting what files to. Anyway, 2016 was considered the year of ransomware because there's such an explosive growth in ransomware families. This trend will likely continue. It'll probably be even more in 2017. But ransomware really took off in 2014 with CryptoLocker proving how successful the business model could be. It's since then been a very booming business. Here's some statistics. A business is attacked with ransomware every 40 seconds, and 51% of companies have experienced a ransomware attack. 48% of these paid the ransom. The average paid about $2,500, but 20% of those that paid the ransom never got their files back. And less than half of ransomware victims fully recover their data, even with backup. So prevention is really crucial, if possible. $209 million was paid to ransomware criminals in the first quarter of 2016, with estimated $1 billion in all of 2016. And this consider that not all ransomware incidents are reported because we don't necessarily want the bad press. This is a survey of companies, how recently they're affected by ransomware. But as you can see here, the most common way of spreading ransomware is phishing or social engineering or insecure spoofed websites. But there's a growing trend towards like spreading by an exploit, like in the case of Samsa ransomware, using the JBoss exploit to get on that system, and then I'll get onto that. Consequences of ransomware attacks. A lot of companies have to invest in new security technologies. They lose money on downtime. This is probably less interesting to this crowd, but one emerging trend is the targeted attacks, targeting data-intensive organizations with medical practices, law, and architectural firms. Victims of target attacks tend to pay higher ransom. They're tailored to the target. Another emerging trend is ransomware as a service. This lowers the technical hurdle for cyber criminals to get started. You may be familiar with Petya and Misha. That was that ransomware that had the skull and crossbones logo. It was kind of retro. It got rebooted as a ransomware as a service, where basically what it is the infrastructure is already in place, and people can sign up to be affiliates and just distribute ransomware and get a cut of the profits. Satan ransomware as a service is another good example of that. Walks people through the steps of making a dropper even. Like it takes negligible technical skill to start infecting people with ransomware and profiting from it. I think they start with a 70% cut of the ransom. Here's some headlines of ransomware incidents. You may have been familiar with the time ransomware hit the San Francisco train system. Everyone rode for free until it was paid. A lot of hospitals get attacked by ransomware. Another Another case that got a lot of press was when an electronic door locking system in an Austrian hotel was infected with ransomware. Now, originally, people were saying that people got locked in their rooms and couldn't leave until the ransom was paid, but that wasn't true. It was actually, they just couldn't make new key cards. But it was more amusing when people thought they were getting locked in their rooms. But here's another example of targeted attacks. Ransomware, basically, people are scanning the internet for vulnerable database, MongoDB instances, and automating attacks like one hacker, Kraken Zero, was able to wipe out 15,972 databases and demanding 1 Bitcoin in return for data. But there's absolutely no guarantee the databases are copied before being wiped. I mean, it seemed like it would be kind of costly to do that. And attack methodology has recently been expanded to vulnerable MySQL databases. Self-propagating ransomware. You've all heard of WannaCry. First struck in May 12th, and the first notable instance of a ransomware worm. I doubt there was never ever been another ransomware worm, but it's the first time one made a huge splash. And it was using the NSA's Eternal Blue exploit and the double pulsar backdoor. The spread of the worm was initially halted when malware tech registered the kill switch domain. It was basically this this domain that looked like a randomly generated string that the ransomware was calling out to before encrypting files. And when malware tech noticed this when he was sandboxing the ransomware, it was hitting a bunch of National Health Service sites in the UK, that it was calling out for that domain. So he registered it, and apparently, when it's able to contact that domain, it doesn't encrypt. It was a kill switch. So it propagates by scanning the internet for IP addresses that have open port 445 and are running vulnerable SMB that the Eternal Blue exploit could be used on. And it also will scan the local area network with another thread. There's a pretty good write-up of it by Malwarebytes. It goes through all this. There's also a really great infographic on the execution flow by Amanda Rousseau. Malware Unicorn is their handle. It's definitely worth looking up. It didn't fit in one of these slides, otherwise I would have shown it. Since the registration of the kill switch domain, there's been various variants showing up that either will look for a different kill switch domain or sometimes even have the kill switch patched out, but there hasn't really been one that's fully functioning without a kill switch yet. The one that Kaspersky found early on, the ransomware archive was corrupted. I guess it was a failed attempt to make one without a kill switch. But what is interesting as far as attribution is concerned, there have been variants that have been found that appear to be earlier versions that don't use the Eternal Blue exploit. They're using other SMB exploits and tools associated with North Korea's Lazarus group. Now, this is very tentative because attribution is hard, but the Grug has a good article on reasons why it could actually be North Korea's Lazarus group behind this the WannaCry worm. There's code that's unique to the Lazarus backdoor and also the command and control protocol of WannaCry. Symantec discovered Lazarus-linked tools and early variants of WannaCry co-located on the same computer. Russia was hit hard by this worm, which implies it wasn't Russia. And as I mentioned earlier versions of WannaCry that don't propagate by the Eternal Blue exploit, which appears to be just copied out of the Fuzz Bunch Python scripts. And Now, Sansa ransomware is a good example of a ransomware that's spreading in this other methodology of what the attackers do is they find vulnerable JBoss web servers and then use this tool JEXBoss. It's kind of a Metasploit-like interface, and they use that to compromise the JBoss servers, and then they move laterally in the network, see what files might be valuable to hold for ransom, and then encrypt them and have a ransom tailored based on what they think it's worth. Whereas usually ransomware will usually just charge a ransom that's it's kind of like the average that people will be able to pay, between like $300 and $600. But with targeted attacks, you get like ransoms of like $1,200, and they'll be ransoming an entire network rather than just individual computers. Something that's to notice is that a lot of these CVEs that are used to spread the Samsa ransomware are really old, like 2010. So, I mean, it's amazing how long these things go without being patched. We'll probably be, it's the reason why we'll probably be seeing the WannaCry ransomware popping up every once in a while, because it's going to be a long time before all that's patched. They also used this utility called regeorge to tunnel over HTTP, and usually script the removal of shadow copies of backups, and that's becoming more common too. And they just leverage sdelete to self-delete after they're done, and usually run out of scripts using psexec. This is the ransom message people see. So it's just some general precautions about ransomware, like stable macro scripts from files transmitted by email. It's usually disabled by default, but regularly backup data and verify integrity of those backups. Always keep software update on endpoints, operating systems, browsers, Java, or Flash. Implement the principle of least privilege and configure access controls accordingly. And categorize data based on organizational value, implement physical logical separation of networks and data for different organizational units. So, like, if you've got more valuable data, you should probably have in a different segment of the network than your email environment that might be the first to be compromised. Implement application whitelisting, only allow systems to execute known and permitted programs, and just educate employees and IT teams about things like links and malicious links and attachments and unsolicited emails. And only don't download software. That's really free option that you don't know and trust. Prevention is key. Storing from backup is time-consuming and costly. And again, less than half of ransomware victims fully recover their data even with backup. Another thing to check out is the NolaCon project. It was started by the collaboration of Dutch National Police, Europol, Intel Security, and Kaspersky Lab. So one of the first steps, if your systems are infected with ransomware, is to check if there's been a decryptor written for it. You'd find there's a no more ransom, but usually that's not the case. But there's also just various information from it. But I'm sorry, that was kind of a mess, but that's all I got. Yes? I've heard that. Not entirely sure, but sometimes it does still run when it's on a network that's connected to the internet by proxy and can't reach it. Yeah, I mean that's one thing that people speculate that the kill switch is for. Yeah. Mm. I don't think the source for WannaCry is up on GitHub or anything like that so far. Yeah. I heard there was one that was like in JavaScript or something. But. Well, not as much. I mean, one thing that has been making ransomware spread of the phenomenon is these ransomware as a service things like that I covered earlier, because that doesn't even require somebody to understand the source code. It like steps people through the step to making a dropper. All they need to know how to do is write a phishing email, really. Anything else? All right.